run the world. Urban Keith 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 run the world.
Comes around, goes around, comes back around, full circle. What's good, y'all? We're back with another video.
What's up?
What's up, y'all?
Got special star, guest star, VIP superstar with us, Manny Mevo. I'm gonna let her run the introduction because she got a lot to say about herself because she does a lot. So yeah, man, tell us who you are.
Talk that talk, George.
Hey, everybody. I'm Manny.
Hi, Manny.
Hi, guys. You may know me from track. I do track. What is it?
Bro, we can't restart reading the intro.
That is true. It's a podcast. I was invited to this lovely home to talk about some important and beautiful things with my friends. So, yeah.
She trying to be humble, bro.
She
trying to be humble. This is a superstar track athlete. Tell them how many medals you have in your room right now, bro.
Oh, that is so.
How many gold medals?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Just 3.
6, 7. Just three.
Just 3.
Just humble 3. She
Just
only
3.
signed.
Not quite 2-4.
not quite 2-4, but yeah, man. Ooh, you know, then in our rap. When that rap we made one with eyes on the studio.
Oh
bro.
my gosh, that Christian rap, that joke was so whack to me. I'm not gonna lie.
Dan's verse was you talking about I slid.
Okay, y'all know your joke was fire. I can't fake. Your joke was fire. I can rap better than you.
Freestyle battle
Drop a bar right now.
Freestyle battle right now.
Right now.
Drop a beat. Not on the table though. Give us a. Check it. Check it. Got the blue hoodie on, ain't got no money. Skinny pockets, boy, and you know you looking funny. It's fat, and you know I got that guap, and you know I got that rack. Walking with the Holy Ghost, ain't no stopping, ain't no flocking, ain't no blocking. Cause I got that bar on me, cause I got that toolie. I'm talking about the word of God, I'm talking about that ooey.
Why that
Come on, boy. No, put me on the spot, I'ma deliver.
Then that gotta be mine. Good. You still recording?
Yes.
Gotta be.
You cop it out.
Yeah, I'm not rapping to
Oh, why?
Let's just get right into it. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
scared.
I ain't scared. Don't worry about me. I ain't
He
scared.
just lauded you.
Nah, I ain't about
Easily.
that.
Stop.
That wasn't really cool for her.
You hating.
All right, back to it.
It's
So
a
we'll just chop it to where we stopped at.
I bet.
You're not.
All right, spin it. You spin it? You spin it? You spin
You're
it?
not messing with me, bro.
Now
I'm gonna stay down.
What?
You see how this guy likes to provoke somebody and then not back up?
I just
You
wanted
went
to
like
see
that.
if you would deliver.
You went like that,
I just
bro.
wanted to see if you
Hey,
would
put me
deliver.
on the spot. I'm gonna
I
deliver
just wanted
everything.
to see if
Every
you
single
would
time.
deliver.
But you know the crazy thing about artists that I just figured out this weekend, like, you know when artists go to the studio, they hop in the sound booth. So when they're in the sound booth, you can't hear nothing from the outside. That's why, they turn me up in the headphones. You know what I'm saying? You're talking to what's it called? The engineer, because they can't talk to the engineer through the glass.
Right.
Because the thing about sound booths is the way the sound booth is designed, it traps the sound. It's so airtight, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the sound that is in the booth, it can't travel outside, and the sound that's outside, it can't travel inside. So it got me thinking, bro. Like I was watching that on a podcast with ET, because he does commercials and all that, like with his voice, he's a speaker.
Okay.
And it was like, bro, like he got all these motivational videos on YouTube, and then he get a commercial, let's say like Arby's or something. He's like, Arby's hit him up. He's like, bro, like we need you to come to the studio because the quality is better at the studio. We can't get it off YouTube because it's the same. It's the same. You're saying the same stuff, but the quality is different.
Right.
Because when you come to the studio, the sound is so airtight because sound doesn't leave. Sound doesn't come in. Had me thinking, bro. I hear something, I take it and run with it.
Okay.
As Christians, sometimes we gotta get in the sound booth. You don't know what I'm talking about yet.
No, land it.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, when it comes to discerning voices and understanding the will of God and understanding, like, what am I really hearing? You know what I'm saying? I feel like this generation that we live in right now, this generation, bro, it's too many external voices, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, people base, the direction that they're taking and the moves that they make based off of the opinions of other people. I live in the world right now, people get paid to make opinions of other people. They're talking about reaction videos. You're talking about journalists. You're talking about people that spend their life inputting their opinion on somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so crazy because it's like, bro, like people really be listening to so many voices, but they never listen to God's voice. They're never in that sound booth with God where everything's so airtight. It don't matter what he say about me because it's not even coming into the booth. You know what I'm saying? If you really trap yourself in the sound booth and you really understand what God's saying to you, what they're saying don't matter. Because it's trapped inside that vicinity, it's trapped inside that space. So it's like, bro, like God's voice is so loud in the booth, I'm not even hearing what they're saying. Because what they're saying is outside, it's muffled. You know, like turn me up in the headphone. It don't even matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter because what God is telling me, the stuff that he's showing me, the vision that he's showing me, your contradiction, bro, it's not on the same level, bro.
You know what they got me thinking too? One of the worst voices we can hear is our own.
Right.
Man, Jeremiah,
you in the booth with yourself.
Jeremiah 17:9 says the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked.
Who knows?
You know, sometimes we can give ourselves like, we could just be listening to our own stuff. Oh, what's my heart thinking? What do I want to do? And that's not the way to go about things a lot of times. And I'm speaking from like, you know, just something I experienced last month. You know what I'm saying? Just listening to what I wanted to do and not going to my sound booth.
Right.
And asking, okay, how do I handle this situation? Or what do I do about this? Or like, not even just being rooted in the sounds that I remember from the booth. Because sometimes you can go in the booth, you make your song, and then you leave the booth and you thinking about that song that you just made. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, I think I was just reading today in Matthew and Luke, just about going back to your closet. Like your closet is your sound booth. Mm-hmm. Your closet is where you listen to God's voice. Your closet is where your personal time where you develop that, you know what I'm saying, understanding of what God wants for you and just that relationship. You know, and when you don't have that, you're susceptible to hearing anything, any other sound, any other voice, any other critique. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's hard to discern, like, okay, we can pray like, God, can you give me a sign or can you speak to me? God speaks through people, but like you listening to every other thing, you don't know what's God's voice and what's not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why that sound booth, dang, that's really important. I like that. Yeah. I like that sound booth.
I like to interject.
No,
like I really feel like people can actually be like loud noise. Like I know for me, like me hearing God's voice, and when I don't, it kind of reflects on the people that I allow in my life. I feel like, yes, it's important to have like that quiet space, but being able to like just hear it even when we're doing like regular things. Like if you just like analyze your environment, like people, the things that you watch, like everything like that's just noise. And I think it's really hard in our generation because everything's everything's just trying to get your stimuli, attention. Yeah. So just trying to like block that out, I feel like that's
I have
like
a question for you though. Like little time last year when we were talking about, when we first started doing all your competitions and you were telling yourself like there was this self doubt, and now hindsight looking, I was like, bro, like that was the voice. One thing that I learned though, and in this quest, this journey to becoming, there's three voices that everybody has in their head. There's a monologue that replays every single day. There's your voice, there's the enemy's voice, and there's God's voice. And then the trick and the skill that you have to develop is when you hear something, okay, who's talking to you? Yeah. And after I hear whatever I hear, what do I do about it? So I know there was a time he was like, yo, like I don't feel like I'm being my best self. And the crazy part is, she's like, I didn't even have a good competition. She go first. You know what I'm saying? I told her, like, bro, like, you doing all this self-doubt. Like, bro, like, imagine if you told yourself you're going to do amazing. You would have jumped even better. You know what I'm saying? So, like, how was that for you trying to walk through those voices and walk through, like, what you're hearing?
The enemy has studied me tremendously through these past years.
She's a champ.
And he knows that I have a tendency of trying to be perfect. So...
perfectionist, right?
Yeah, so even when like I do good to like the outside view, like, he'll try to find ways. Just all this noise, like you didn't do this, you didn't win by far enough, you didn't do enough to look like you win by a lot. Like that's how I think. But I'll have like a lot of thoughts, but it's up to me to like know to discern like which voice is which is a struggle. And I feel like it's easier for me to decide when I put my big girl pants on and just analyze like what I gotta just let go of. I have to actually like tell myself stop thinking like that. And I think it also helps like just staying present. I feel like being like anxious, because that's what anxiety is when you think about what you can't see or in the future. Just letting that go, having faith and being present, that helps. But it's really hard to do that because
skill, bro.
It's
Like,
just
one
so
time-
much going on. Like you think
Right.
about, and because of like, oh, sorry, I keep going in, but
keep
Nah,
going.
keep
I-
going. You
I like
got
I think
started.
I just think so much in the future because I'm the type of person I just want this and this at a certain time. That's just not how life works. That's not how God works. So that's another way of just like just so much. Was it noise?
Yeah.
Being in my sound booth means to just block it out and be present and just focus on God's voice. I'm
That's why
present
I never
because
know.
God's here, not you know.
For sure. I feel like that's a skill though. Like people don't realize that mental training is a
It's
lot of
real.
work, bro. Like the same way we in the gym, bro. Me and Dan cleaning 315.
It's like we're
Yes,
like
sir.
Everybody get that
This
315 this week. you
This
feel me?
week,
But it's like we in there pushing 4 or 5. We in there, benching all this and that. Like we pushing weight. Like we probably one of the top people in the weight room going crazy. Same way. That's how, bro. Sometimes, bro, I turn off my phone. I play music and I just sit, bro. And I just sit and I let my mind run through. All right, what am I thinking about? Just like there's a feeling of unplugging your mind. And it's really a skill that I have to develop, and it's a skill that I'm continuing to develop. It's just like when you unplug your mind, what's coming in? Because what I've learned is, I heard this quote on TikTok: you can't control where a bird flies, but you can control where it lays a nest. What does that mean? Like you can't control the thoughts that come in, because thoughts will be intrusive sometimes. Thoughts will just infiltrate your mind. Like you're sitting down, random things, some crazy stuff. Like whoa, you feel me? Like where that come from? But like you can have mind control to the point. It's like, all right, I catch that thought down. All right, bro, like we're not doing that. All right, bro, like you know what I'm saying. But the more you let those thoughts marinate, that's how you lead to, like you said, anxiety. You know what I'm saying? Intrusive actions. Not just now the intrusive thoughts became intrusive actions. And now it's like now you end up in a situation, well, how did I get here? Because you didn't have mind control. Whoa.
Yeah.
You have that mind control, bro. And it's an exercise, bro, that you gotta do every day. You know what I'm saying? And it's just in the same way we train in the weight room, we gotta train our mind, bro.
Mm-hmm.
you know what is real? Like, just so real about not casting down those thoughts and just casting down those like behaviors is, if you don't think too much of something small, it becomes something so big.
You said if you don't,
If you don't think too much of
Snowball
something
effect.
small, it
Yeah.
becomes something so big, and it's like you subconsciously allow it to just develop, subconsciously allow it to build, and you like even as it's growing, you sometimes still don't think like, okay, this is an issue, or like this way that I think about myself is an issue. This way I talk to people is an issue. The way like I can lie is an issue, and just things like that just become so detrimental to your future, and you just look back and like. You could just look back and say, dang, I really let all of this, pile up. And it could have been something avoided. It could have been something just like,
oh my gosh,
if I
yes.
would have paid more attention, if I wouldn't have allowed all of these outside voices to deter me from understanding, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we're able to catch those things. We're able to cast those things down. But if you don't have the knowledge about, what you're doing or what you're listening to or who you have around you, you're susceptible to
Keep
so
adding
much.
up.
Yeah.
When
it
you
just
said
keep piling up.
that, I thought about like dating. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because I feel we all have certain, would convictions be the right word? Like a feeling about a certain somebody.
Mhm.
But like you're gonna give them a chance just because you feel like you want to and it feels good, and then you got people around you just saying, "Oh, you're young and turned," and you give them a chance, and like it just piles up. You notice things that you just don't agree with.
The red flags.
Red flags.
I'm trying to change the color of yourself.
Trying to change that color.
Nah, it's not that red. It's really
I feel like catching it takes a big courage.
It does.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I don't know. I kind of just had a brain fart, but
I know that one. It does take courage. Not only courage, but like self-control.
self-control.
And, just like confidence in who you are. Because, when you like when you just allow something is not the best for you, you know what I'm saying? You kind of give up a piece of the control that you have over your life. Like, okay, I'm allowing this. And the whole time, what you're allowing comes with so much more. It comes with so much more of like your righteousness
Yeah.
at times, so much more of your self-control. Just like, a relationship. I had a relationship that I was holding on to for a long time in college, and my sophomore, junior year for real. And going into it, I'm like, okay, boom, we're gonna put God. God is gonna be, you feel me, the center. But the whole time the other person is not thinking the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So right off the bat, it's like we unequally yoked
Already.
off the bat, and it's like things that I value is not the same things that they value necessarily. So we trying to mesh, it's not meshing. You know what I'm saying? The things that once were I held so high, I lowered it so low to get on the same page as the person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like when you
Like, don't you notice like a
negotiate.
difference, like of the quality of your life
yeah
when that happens?
yeah
Especially when it's like even like platonic relationships, you can notice like how you're more vulnerable to like attacks of the enemy.
I would say the word is compromise.
Compromise.
Do not.
Yeah, don't compromise.
X to compromise. Do not compromise. Don't compromise with your relationships. Don't compromise with yourself. Don't compromise with God. Don't compromise with anything, because that just like we're not built to compromise. We're built to stand firm on something. We built to stand 10 toes down.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we built for, to stand on business. But if we compromise, then we're gonna lose every time. We're gonna lose every time.
So let me ask you, like, how do you train yourself to know the difference between those three voices I mentioned before, like your voice, the devil's voice, and God's voice? Like, what do you think is good habitual patterns to get into, good regiments to get into? So it's like, okay, bam, I knew that was God. Let's do it. Because you know what I'm saying. Sometimes, like, I feel like people are a bit, tentative with their decision making and a little anxious with just because they're not sure. Because if I heard God tell me things, I'll do it instantly. But it's like sometimes, like, dang, was that me?
Yeah.
Like, is that just me conceiving and conceptualizing my own thoughts? Was that God? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how do you get to that space when you know, okay, bet this is God, let's do it?
Situations that has happened where I have to apply it. I know when it just aligns with the word, because I'll be praying about a certain situation or about a certain person, and more often than not, I get answers pretty quick. I feel like I have a gift of. Even my mom tells me I have like this gift of like dreaming and like things being told in my dreams, and that's how I know. But I can be a silly girl and I make silly mistakes. So I know how to discern between the voice of the enemy and myself and God. Really just being real with myself and with the word. And it's tough to realize that because our flesh, we want to stick on to what's good, but it takes like a lot to just let go.
Yeah, I feel like
I think it's as simple as that, at least for me.
Yeah, sometimes we come to God praying as confirmation. Like, you ask me that, like, nah, God, look, like, this person that, you know what I'm saying? Let's talk about relationships. You said dating as well. You know that girl not good for you. Like, you can tell the tree by its fruit. But you come to God praying, you expecting him to say yes, so you design your prayer. God, like, if it's not her, you feel me, give me a sign. But if it is, like, you know, feel me, you praying in a way that, all right, God, just say yes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
God, like, this is really why you should say yes. You know what I'm saying? Giving all the reasons. Like,
Yo, just at me already.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know something, you know? And that's how sometimes we come to God. That's why we get the mix between our voice and God's voice. Because we're trying to mesh it together. Yeah. Like you said, like, you got to be real with yourself. You got, what does the word say about what I'm doing?
Yeah.
You know? And I watched this video over the weekend about revelation of scriptures and how people sometimes see the Bible as just doctrine. Like, if you read the Bible as just doctrine, you will gain something out of it, but you're leaving a lot of stuff on the table. Yeah. Because God can speak through his word as light, as perception to your own individual life. Because I always struggle with that sometimes. I'm like, I look like, what David got to do with me? Like, there's no giants here. This is 2024. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no giants walking around. You know what I'm saying? I'm not fighting lions. I'm not fighting bears. What does his story have to do with mine?
It's not always literal.
Yeah, I feel that. But sometimes I'm linear thinking. I'm like, God, you're having to read a story about somebody who killed a giant. Like, and I'm trying to figure out if I should start this business. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the happy medium? Yeah. So I read this and I feel like this is like, bro, this is really, if I ain't learned anything all year, if this is all I learned, bro, like, I got it. Because let me give you a practical example. Let's say you got a new job, right? And you're asking God what you should do with this job. Because you got job offers, right? And say, okay, let's say one giving you 120. We're talking about money now. 120,000. One giving you 150. One giving you 200. To the eye, the 200 is like, God, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously $50,000 more, I can do a lot with that. But let's say you're reading the Bible, searching my heart, searching God, searching my heart, allow me to know what to do with my job. And you get to a verse that says, "Ask and you shall receive." All right, cool. And there's a way that God will minister to your heart, and that "ask you shall receive" is literally talking about something else. But in your word, in your situation, "ask and you shall receive" means you want 200,000. That 150 jobs where you're supposed to be at. Ask for a raise, and you're gonna get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's ways that God can shape His scripture into a revelation that only applies to you.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I've been reading the Bible is like, bro, like I've been missing stuff, bro. Like I'm asking all these questions, like what I gotta do, brother. Like the answers are right there. You gotta read and you gotta be open to receive, bro. Like, cause sometimes we read the Bible.
You read like every other word.
You feel me?
You gotta read into.
You gotta read it. It could be just one verse, "asking you shall receive," and that's all God will show you for a whole week. There was a time where I was just reading Proverbs 16, just reading it front and back, reading it front and back, reading front and back, and I go with a highlighter. Okay, because sometimes you read stuff and it will smack you like, dang. Because you read it the first time and then you read it again, it's like, whoa, like that's been there the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like sometimes you just gotta be open. Like the Bible is just not a whole bunch of stories. It can be really an answer if you're open to receive the comprehension. Not coming with an answer, but coming expecting, not expecting. You know?
You said expecting?
Expected, not expecting.
Yeah.
Expected to anything, not expecting a certain answer.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And if you come with that mindset, then you feel me?
Yeah, I think because God but we need to accept His training of us. Not everything is a set answer. Mm-hmm. And I think that's another thing that I struggle with. Just thinking, like, what's common sense? But, like, common sense to me isn't common sense to God. Like, you said that you have to read a certain verse over and over and over again. Even each and every time you get a different, like, revelation. Right. I feel like it's, like, certain lessons that we have to, like, face multiple times. Because I would learn something, but, like, I would only learn, like, one, like, aspect of it. And then I have to learn again because I made a mistake. Mm-hmm. I feel like every single time, like, it's a different...
different level.
Different level.
Still math, but now we discrete math.
Yeah. And I think...
taking algebra last year, now we discrete.
Yeah. I think my struggle with... I'm a very numbers type of girl, back to track. I'm a jumper, so a lot of what we do is based on... numbers and jumping this type of number, and I get to a meet and I want to jump this. But I don't remember. I forget that I have to do certain things to get to that point. Mm-hmm. Like you don't just come to a meet and say you want to run this, run that, and then you just run like a crackhead. You jump like a crackhead. Like there's phases through your run. You gotta hit the board a certain way. Like I would forget that, and I look through the videos and I look like a crackhead. So. I think each and every meet, or like if I have to face, like sometimes God will make me go to like the absolute lowest for me to realize a certain lesson.
What does your lowest look like? If you don't mind me asking.
My lowest, at least this season, I would say this is my most stressful year in general. So I feel like school and the way I was taking care of my body was actually not good. I'm gonna self-incriminate myself. My coach sees this, but I really feel like that kind of contributed to my minor injury that I had this past season. It had to take me to be hurt to realize sleep is important, recovery is important. That's why I'm on you about sleeping, because I swear I do.
There's too much stuff to do in 24 hours, bro.
We do all this stuff we all do this stuff to like break down our bodies to be better, lifts, run, whatever you guys do, but we don't take care about the recovery aspect. We literally heal during sleep. Yeah. We don't sleep, we don't heal. But there's like certain lessons like that I had to learn. Okay, you realize that you have to be present in order to jump this. Okay, now you have to realize you have to take care of your body outside of the track, outside the weight room to get to the certain jump. Yeah. I feel like I had a lot of lessons that I have to kind of develop. And I feel like there's still more to be learned, to be honest. But where was I going with this?
Sometimes when you get to your lowest so you can hear.
Yes, to hear.
Right.
Yeah.
My thing is like, why as people do we like have to get so low in order for us to listen?
Because we're stubborn.
You know, like
naturally prideful.
Yes.
Yeah, like
arrogant.
Imagine if we just listened the first time or sat down to ask, hey God, what am I missing? Before I mess this up, what do you want me to know? Before I mess this up, what do you want me to hear? Before I mess this up, how do you want me to act? So I don't have to you know what I'm saying, be facing an injury throughout the rest of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like when that can become our first response, like our first response is surrender and open and yield. I feel like things will be so much better, and that's where I'm trying to get to because I feel like me personally, my like one of my me personally, one of my hardest things is being gentle, being gentle
Yeah, he mad aggressive.
and meek, gentle and meek.
He aggressive.
Very aggressive.
Like that's
Not aggressive, sassy. That's what he said.
all right,
Oh.
bro. Being gentle and meek, and it's like if I was to say, "Hey God, I just experienced this today," instead of me experiencing it again with somebody else, how do you want me to move forward so it don't happen? Rather than me saying that, I'm just like, all right, it happened, let's move on. And little do I know that's an accumulation. The thing that I could have done was get to my studio, go to my closet, and pray, and go to my sound booth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That should be like one of the first responses you have whenever you deal with anything in life, or both, like even a way to like be proactive rather than reactive. Go to your sound booth. We be so reactive. I be so reactive.
Yeah, but
I be so reactive, bro. I need to get to that sound booth, and that's just been something I've been trying to like just dive deeper into. Just consistency in my sound booth, so I can hear what I need to hear from the voice I need to hear from, rather than my own, rather than from. Yeah, I used to be so like
How do you feel like you hear God's voice?
through His Word and through dreams. Most times it's through like other people. Like if I'm praying about a specific thing, and let's say my mom calls me like, Daniel, what are you doing right now? I'm like, I'm on my bed. Well, I just had this dream about you. I'm like, oh my goodness, how do you know what's going on? That's nothing but God. And when my mentor calls me like out of the random, yo, bro, have you done this recently? I'm like, oh, how do you know that? You know what I'm saying? Or like, have you been praying about this recently? It's like, that's how I know that God really hears me and God really sees me and He's speaking back to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when I get to that time in my studio, bro, in my sound booth, that's where I hear God's voice. So that's where I'm like, you give those things to God. Like you put those things down and lay everything down in front of Him. Like lay it down in front of Him. The faster you do that, the faster the things can be addressed.
Yeah.
The faster the things can be given to you. All the things that He wants to give you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, make that your first response, bro. Be proactive rather than
That's why
reactive.
they be saying pray for discernment and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Because like you know it's God when it aligns with your experiences, His words, what He says. Like that's how you know it's God.
Yeah,
Like with
bro.
me, I remember like there was a time period where I was just like, bro, like keep talking about you don't know it's God when you get this feeling, you get this or something happens. I'm like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like that's not true. And then I just remember reading my word and what I had going on aligned with the verse like perfectly. Like it was exactly the same thing. I was like, that's God right there. I already know what to do.
Word. Yeah, it's living word, bro.
You talk about voices though. There's a verse that came to my mind, Isaiah 30:21. Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it. And there's so many things that come from that. Like sometimes we ask God about direction because like I'm the type of person, bro, whatever God had for me in this life, let's do it. Like, cause I know it's right here. How can I get here with no hesitation, no distractions, all that? But sometimes it's like, bro, like chill. Like if you go here, I'm right behind you telling you, okay, bet, let's keep going here, or let's turn, or let's keep going, let's turn. But the thing about that some people don't understand is like, I'm gonna hear a voice behind you. God is not gonna tell you what to do without you taking proactive action. Like, you're not just gonna sit around, okay, God, tell me what to do, and you just wait.
You gotta start.
You feel me?
Yeah.
God speaks to you in present time. He doesn't speak to you. You know what I'm saying? He gives you revelation, He gives you dreams, He gives you prophecies, but you have to take that action towards that prophecy that you hear. Let's say that prophecy is right here and say, this is like, oh, this is this business idea I got for you. This is the company. You see yourself being a CEO of, $1 billion company, but you right here, right now in college. It's like, oh my God, how are we going to get there? But you just, okay, start saving up. Oh, no, go here. Bet, go here. Eventually, every step that you take, this is the way walking behind you. Okay, go here. Eventually, He will lead you to that prophecy that He told you about when you're right here. But you got to move forward for Him to be guiding you. Like, there's a verse that's really sticking out to me, and I'm marinating. Like, I like to take a verse at a time. Like, I read sections of the Bible right now. I'm like reading about Joseph and all that and dreaming. But like, I don't like to oversaturate myself with words and verses because, like, okay, you're doing all that, but you're not doing nothing with it. So there's Psalm 32 verse 8. It says, "I will instruct you and I'll teach you into the best pathway for your life, and I'll counsel you with my loving eye." Because there's a way. There's so many ways that you can go about your life. Like, I can stop everything I'm doing right now and say, "Bro, I want to be a hooper," and I'm going to TC, I'm going to TC, You know what I'm saying? Because bro, I want to be a hooper. That's a way, but that's not the best pathway for your life. Like, I'm not designed to be a hooper. Like, nothing about me says hooper. You know what I'm saying? Hey, bro.
Like no cap.
Like,
Cannot hoop.
yeah, bro, I yammed on Shetty last week, bro. I got it on video, bro. I'm gonna put the video in
the podcast side.
I'm gonna put the video in this clip, bro. Me yamming on
You
it.
better put the clip.
I'm gonna put it, bro.
Lying on the podcast is crazy.
But look, like, I could drop everything I do right. I want to hoop, but God made me. He ain't really have hooping. You know, for me in the rap sheet. You can do it, like free will, all that. Like, bro, like I'm trying to hoop, but it's like that's not the best pathway for your life. Yeah. So when we talk about instruction, when we talk about guidance from God, there's a way that seems right to a man, but it leads to destruction. Imagine I throw my whole entire destiny away because I say I want to go to the NBA. I got hoop dreams. I mean, yeah, life, love, and the pursuit of happiness. Like, I have free will. I'm a human being. It's like, bro, I'm missing out on this, bro, because I'm chasing something that's not real. You know what I'm saying? There's a way that seems right to a man that leads to destruction, bro. Once you take that step, there's a reason God gave me a gift to do all the things that I'm doing right now. Like, I have so many different gifts. I didn't ask for none of them. Like, I didn't ask to be good at, piano. I didn't ask to be good at making beats. I didn't ask, you know what I'm saying? All the things that I do, like, I didn't really pray to God for them. They just happened because natural. I can't hoop. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what you're good at, bro. And what you being good at and what, you know what I'm saying, is naturally attracted to you, that's already an indicator. Like, okay, bet, let's go in this direction. And as I go, God guides me as I go. But you got to take that proactive step every day. Keep grinding towards it. And if it's really wholeheartedly not for you and you've been thinking it's God the whole time, God and his love and mercy will move. Like, you going this way the whole time. God, I'm hearing, I'm reading my Bible, I'm praying, but you're telling me to go this way, bro. Like, he'll move it just because of his grace and mercy. Is like, okay, bet. I really asking you shall receive, seeking you shall find, knocking the door shall be open. It's like, bro, like, if God really sees your heart, bro, man sees outward, but God sees the heart. If God really sees your heart, bro, and he knows that, okay, there's a certain level of intentionality that is being administered. It's like, bro, you can't just take that for granted. Who move the bag over here? You know what I'm saying? As long as I'm not doing what I'm not supposed to be doing, like trying to hoop, he's not gonna move the NBA right in front of me just because I want it. Nah, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain level that you gotta be in, a certain vicinity that you gotta be around. Like, you gotta get in the sound booth to really understand what I'm hearing and have the vision for it and take a step forward.
I feel like that's how you would know. You won't know if like you mentioned the NBA, you want to do the NBA, but there's certain like paths that we would want to take, but we gotta analyze like what good would it do if like we want to do what glorifies God, like that's like the overwhelming objective per se. But
yeah, how me going to NBA going to give God any glory?
Yeah, how can you do that?
John, I'm telling you, I'm putting that clip in.
All right. But I feel like, especially with people, I know a couple people too. They're very impatient, and I feel like there's no like time restraint or like time. You know what I mean? Like, it takes time to know what's the right path, and even if you do like you are passionate and you're working hard, if you keep on knocking and keep asking, like Daniel said, I think you mentioned like anyway. If you just keep on praying about it, you being your sound booth, he will direct you to the will that he has created perfectly for you.
Yeah, you can never go wrong with following God, bro. That's all.
Romans 10:17, faith comes by hearing the word of God. So what I wanted to ask y'all was like, do you feel like reading the word of God makes you hear him, like gives you a vision of hearing his voice? Like, does it bring you closer to it? Like, how do you feel like you can hear the word of God? How do you feel like you can hear God? What's the best way you feel like is for you to hear the voice of God and to go in that direction? Because hearing the word of God does bring faith. You know what I'm saying?
So I got an answer for that. So I know Daniel, right? In the same way, like,
I can communicate with Daniel by speaking to him. There's also a way that I can communicate with Daniel without even talking to him. Like, me and Daniel got so close. Let's say we had a function, and we know like, it's about that time. I look at Daniel, he look at me, we do this, and we're gone. You know what I'm saying? When you come close to God, it's not always just the Bible. The Bible is a good way, and it's a very solid way. But when you get closer and closer, there's just unspoken indicators. Like, as you get closer to somebody, bro, there's just some stuff that doesn't have to be.
Maybe you just
But
know.
like you gotta
I
get,
say, you just gotta know. There's just a knowing that you
It's
had.
like, you know, like,
You know what I'm
but
saying?
like you know that knowing without by knowing him.
Right. It took time. Like, the first time I met
Yeah,
Daniel,
to
we're not
know
just
him
on that
first.
time. You
yeah,
know what I'm
it's
saying?
known first to.
But I gotta know like what he likes, what he doesn't like,
Yeah.
what makes him angry, what makes him sad, all that to put that together to all right, bro, we out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like if I see something crazy happen, all right, bro, like you know what I'm saying, I'm not trying to be part of that. But it comes like when it comes to God, God's not going to tell you to do something that disrespects Him and His word, because that's always come on, bro, like because that's blasphemy. God's not going to tell you to go over there and get yourself into something that if you look at it, the scriptures literally opposes everything that you're doing. That's not God. And you telling yourself that's God is lying to yourself. That's you. That's what you want to do. Don't try to bring God into that. But once you get closer with God, my sheep know my voice. Once you get closer with God, He guides you easily. You know what He sounds like, and you know what He doesn't sound like.
And that's the thing. Like I feel like I know the devil's voice by reading the word of God. Like that's how I know it's the devil's voice. Because like back to the relationship thing, like you know what I'm saying, I was in a relationship as well, and good relationship, good vibes, but it was just something in my head like, stop what you're doing right now. Like this relationship has to end. Like, and it was like a feeling of conviction, and I don't feel like I would have felt that if I didn't know who God was.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I've been really thinking about it. Like after I left the relationship, I was just like, damn, like, is this it now? Like I realized I just left the most valuable person in my life. Well, I felt that
That's
was in
what
my
you
life.
felt at the time.
Yeah, I felt at the time, and it's like, is this really benefiting me? And I just realized, later on, like, damn, this is benefiting me, and this is benefiting that person, because it's like they're not understanding, but I understand. Like I understand. I know why that I had to leave that relationship. I know why. Like what I'm saying, that personal conviction that I was getting, and it's like that's God. Like, and it's the fact that one thing about God, He gonna keep telling you, like, it's gonna be in your head, like until you do it,
Yeah.
bro. Like it's just gonna be in your head. Like once you know that it's still popping in your head, like just free, bro. You gotta let it go, bro.
Like
That's what I know.
I feel like we kind of view things like a breakup, like as a curse. I feel like everything happens to make us closer to God, or like to make us come to God. Like you were in a relationship, I was in something similar, but I knew that I had to go because I had to compromise certain things that I knew aligned with God's word. And when I noticed that, that's when I started having the thoughts. But like I said, at the time I was feeling silly. I just wanted to keep what felt good, and that's how I guess the enemy has tried to get me in his, terrible cycles. But I think those things have to happen, even if it's painful, because it's for a better purpose, and we don't think about that, I guess, outside box of things. We're so focused on just emotions and how, I guess, our flesh feels, but it's really
You feel like the
Free.
world is about to end.
like the world's about to end,
Right?
but like that's just not the case.
Sometimes it looks like us like being obedient. Sometimes it looks like we're taking steps backward. But those are major, major steps forward.
Ooh, I even have a note. Hold on. Go ahead, y'all. Go ahead. I'm
Being obedient
Bring
means
you back
like
full circle, bro. You the closer, bro. Go ahead, finish this right. So if you stroke God, I'm just gonna cut it out.
what's the strophe?
I'm more sharp on DMV turning you. Stroke is like you selling, bro. Like you ain't delivering.
That's so ugly.
You don't like
Bro,
stroke?
I ain't make it up. You did.
All right. And this was like for my service. It says sometimes obeying God means your life will get worse, but that doesn't mean it won't get better.
Put worse in quotes.
Okay. Sometimes obeying God means your life will get worse, but that doesn't mean it won't get better later on. Be patient.
Patience.
I don't know about a closure though. Oh, I got you. I'm not good. It's like, no. But I mean, honestly, bro, when it comes to trying to hear the voice of God and being led by the Spirit, it's really based off of your communication and the sustainability of your relationship. Like, I know my mom, I'm about hit in the park. This literally happened today. Happy Mother's Day out.
Happy Mother's Day.
Nah, for real.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy
All the
Mother's
Did you
Day.
call your mothers?
Mm.
Fathers?
Send you show me and call your mom.
I didn't come home.
My fault.
Yeah.
So look, this is what happened. So those of y'all who know me, I'm not from Maryland, I'm from South Carolina. And so I didn't get to see my mom today. I mean, I'm used to it now. It's probably the second year. Like, I don't really go home, like, for major, events, whatever, cool. So this one was in the gas station on the way back from church.
Okay.
I called my mom, and as soon as she answered the phone, I looked at her. I said, "What's wrong?" She ain't say nothing. As soon as she picked up the phone, like the FaceTime turned, pick up. I said, "What's wrong?" As soon as I saw her, she was like, "What do you mean?" I said, "What's wrong? Like, I know you. You know what I'm saying?" She ain't say nothing. She ain't give me no indications. She's like, "No, I'm fine." Blah blah blah. She started talking, and then like I knew she was capping because, like I said, when you're so close to somebody for so long, you just pick up things about them that is just unspoken. It doesn't have to be said. I meet with my family every Sunday, talk about the week and all that. And so later on, she explained it. She's like, "I really do appreciate, and it really touched my heart how you picked up that something was wrong with me without even saying." Like, there's some stuff that happened at the crib. I wasn't there for that, but she was like, "I was actually so surprised that you knew that as soon as you picked up the phone." And it's because I know my mom. Just like we're talking about the relationship with God, like, there's some things that just don't have to be explained. Like, for some people who are right here with God gotta break it down. Like, start from John 3:16. Okay, like, let's talk about this whole, what this got to do with you, the whole salvation thing, the whole destiny thing. And some people who are right there with God, like, you got your own sound booth. You're there every day recording. You're there every day listening. God can drop you like this, and it's like, okay, man, I get it. Some people get it, and some people get it, but they need a lot more spoon feeding. Just like some people are baby Christians, they need to be spoon fed. They need to be breastfed like they're babies. And then some people can eat hard food, hard meat, you know what I'm saying? Steak, chicken breast, all that, because you develop your muscles, develop your teeth to be able to chew that kind of food. And some things, if God is telling the person that's right here, the stuff that he's telling right here, they be like, "All right, bro, like, I've been got that." The same thing is God telling the person right here that's been right there is like, "Whoa, it's too much for them. They can't handle it." They're going to choke on their food because they're still babies. You know what I'm saying? So, like, as you develop that relationship with God, you spend time with him, you really read his word, dissect what this means. Okay, what's God's MO? What is he really after? What does he want? What does he want from me? How do I fit in this? Like, bro, there's some things you're going to know. And every day, bro, every day is constant pursuit. Meditate on the word day and night.
Preparation.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, you're never at a spot where it's like, okay, bet, I get it. Because, bro, we're human beings. God put a cap on this. Like, God's thoughts are higher than our thoughts. His ways are higher than ours. You never get to a point where, like, I get everything. I understand my destiny. I understand this destiny. You're not God, bro. So every day there's something you can learn. Every day you always take that inch closer to God. I'm rounded up with this James 4:8, and I feel like this is just everything we're saying in a summary. James chapter 4 verse 8 says, "Draw near to God, and He will draw near to you." You gotta take that first initial step. God's not gonna come. He's not gonna bother you. He's gonna let you do what you want because you have free will. Because He loves you so much, He's gonna let you rock out. But if you take that step to Him, He's gonna take one step closer. Take one step to Him, He's gonna take one step closer until y'all meet in the middle. And y'all got your own sound booth. That's how you hit it out the park, bro.
Yeah, bored.
Preparation.
That sounds better than consequences.
Consequence.
Preparation. We're talking about.
Yeah, man. Get in y'all sound booth, bro.
Get in that sound booth.
Go rent out the studio. Go book some studio time.
Heck yeah.
Make it level. Three.
Three times.
3
How
times.
many more times? Too many.
Too many.
She's just getting started, yo.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
That wraps it up, man. You know what we say.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Oh, yeah.
Shoot. What comes around, goes around.
Around.
It comes back around
full circle.
Cool.
Urban Keith run the world.